Hello and welcome. I'm Charlie Gibson. You are watching The Mining Show, brought to you by Blytheweigh on Core Finance. Now, as we all know, share prices can go walkabout from time to time. They can walkabout up, they can walkabout down, and they can walkabout sideways. Well, one of the companies where the share price has gone up, has gone walkabout indeed. It's been up as high as 20 cents in the last 12 months. Currently it's trading around about 8.5 cents, and when I say cents I mean Australian cents, and the company itself is Walkabout, and it is waiting at the moment upon a mining license application at its lead project, Lindi Jumbo, in Tanzania. And joining me now in the studio is the company's chairman, Trevor Benson. Trevor, very good morning to you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. So tell us, what is the latest on your mining license?
So as you said, Walkabout is listed in Australia on the ASX, and our share price is down around 8.5 cents. Mainly because we are waiting on an approval from Tanzanian government for the mining licence, which we're very positive about receiving in the next month or two.
Relations have been a little bit fractious, I think it would be fair to say, wouldn't it, between the mining community generally, and obviously sitting in London, I'm thinking of Acacia when I say that, and the government. Why do you think that you're going to get the mining license? I mean, I assume to some extent that's what your share price is reflecting, but are you sailing under the radar here? What is it that you're doing differently?
So it is true that we have had delays. We have had a DFS, a definitive feasibility study out for at least a year, and we have all the environmental approvals granted. So we are waiting for the government to award us a mining licence. The government decided post-Acacia to change the legislation, and obviously all miners have been affected. Mining licences were basically put on hold. We have been in talks with the government at mining level, at the mines minister level, at Prime Minister level, and we're very positive that our mining licence application, which is in at the Commission at the moment. The Commission was only just formed a couple of weeks ago, will be accepted within the next month or two.
So that's, is that a bold prediction? You're confident of that, are you? There's a long history of mining companies saying we'll do this by this time, and then it slips. But you sound like a confident man.
Patience is a virtue when you're dealing in Africa, and we've been dealing in Africa for 30 years.
So the mining licence then, you think, 1 month's time, beginning of June?
I think that we should be awarded our mining licence in the next month or so, probably in the next 2 months.
All right, so by the beginning of July, most likely in June.
I'd say let's call it July.
Now, on this issue of concentrate exports, and we know that this is the primary problem that Acacia has had, is this inability to export its concentrate. Do you think there's any danger, because you have a DFS and obviously that will explain what the mine plan is, but if you're to what extent are you exporting a concentrate, in your opinion? Is there any danger that the government could cut up rough in the same way about it?
So firstly, I think that the issue around Acacia is completely different. It was aimed at gold. Our graphite is 95 to 97% total graphitic carbon. So we are selling into the expandable market, not necessarily the battery grade market. So 97% is a very high grade, and we think we'll be allowed to export that product.
Talk about, because obviously this is your lead project, but it's not the only one, is it? You do have, I mean, interestingly, you talked about not going into the battery market where everyone else talks about going when they talk about graphite, but you also have vanadium, I believe, on the same prospect in Tanzania, but then you've got cobalt in Northern Ireland, and you've got lithium in Namibia. So in all other respects, apart from the graphite, you have quite an interest in what's happening in batteries, electric vehicles, and the way that market develops.
So yes, we have 2,000 square kilometres of southern Namibia, where we are exploring for lithium. We have 90 line kilometres of outcropping pegmatites. So we have known lithium occurrences within those areas. So we're very excited about that that area and those prospects. We also have Northern Ireland, where we acquired Lonman's operation. Early stage exploration. We're organising some, looking at flying some electromagnetics over a couple of areas. But more recently, we discovered in rock chip samples cobalt and copper.
So which are you most excited about? Lithium in Namibia or cobalt in Northern Ireland?
The thing that excites me the most is our Sleeve Galleon exploration licence in Northern Ireland.
And then tell us a bit about whereabouts in Northern Ireland.
So it's west of Belfast. We have about 1,000 square kilometres. We are right up in the northeast with some joint ventures, and we're west of Belfast in terms of our Sleeve Galleon. We're very close to a gold company's 4 million ounces up there. We're on the same trend, so we're very excited.
Which company is that?
Dalradian.
So you're contiguous with Dalradian.
Yeah. So we're very excited about the prospects of lithium, cobalt, gold, copper.
And how do you see yourself funding all of these three things together? I know you've raised money recently, but
yeah. So we raised around about 9 million Australian dollars recently. We have funding for our. You've got to imagine our graphite project is ring fenced. We have, and it's very China centric. We have our major shareholder in China, who's our engineering partner. We have offtake in China. We have funding in China. So the funding in China is funding all the equipment that is required for the plant and building the mine in Tanzania.
It's worth mentioning, I think, isn't it, that the Irish deposit is a VMS,
yes.
Volcanogenic massive sulfide, which are not that common and do tend to be quite rich, quite high grade when
yes.
they are discovered. I don't know what the most recent one, the one I have in my head is Bisha, which I know is miles away from Northern Ireland, but that's the sort of thing that you think you have up in Northern Ireland.
Well, it is VMS style mineralisation, and yes, it's harder to find, which is why we're going to fly some aeromags over the ground. And yes, we're very confident that, it is VMS, and it's traditionally Northern Ireland VMS style mineralisation. So it just requires a more concentrated exploration campaign. And yes, you're right, if we find it, then it tends to be richer. And we have rock chip samples, grading 50 grams per tonne gold, 2.7% copper and 0.13% cobalt. So it's looking very positive.
Pretty decent grades. Deep, shallow.
Well, we've only done rock chip sample surface analysis, so we're flying to find out where we're going to have some drill targets.
Okay, Trevor, thank you very much indeed. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for. Just to recap, though, in 1 month or so, we're looking at the mining license for Lindi Jumbo in Tanzania. So July is your best estimate of that, and then 1 month after that, i.e. 2 months' time, if you like, we're looking at the results of that Aeromag survey in Northern Ireland. Is that a good summary?
That's a very good summary.
Excellent. All right, Trevor, thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid that's all we got time for. That was Trevor Benson joining me, the chairman of Walkabout Resources. Join me again next week, where we'll be bringing you more such opportunities for mining companies with share prices that can go walkabout, in this case, potentially in the range from 8.5 to 19.5. As I say, that's all we got time for. This is Charlie Gibson signing off for the Mining Show, brought to you by Blytheweigh on Core Finance. And until next week, you have a very capital day.